Oop. That's the sound Pinocchio's nose makes when he's lying. And Pinocchio is a liar. I am not calling anyone a liar. However, I need to make that statement before I proceed. The reason I need to do so is that this drive that you are on will become a beautiful, lush verdancy. And as you ride out, I will attempt not to wax lackadaisically because I don't think it gives my speech greater authority. But if I lose your attention in the first few minutes, I won't be able to rely on the scenery as I take up a natural cadence. The right-wing media ecosphere, which contains so many figures, Tim Pool, Carl Benjamin, Candace Owens, Ben Shapiro, Michael Knowles, Asmongold, Nick Fuentes, Stephen Molyneux, Shuan Head, the list goes on and on and on. All of these figures are a bit like some of the things that we pass in this video, where they might be with us momentarily, but they're not with us in earnest, because the profession that we received in earnest, that we believe in earnest, is something different. And I'll get to that. I believe that there used to be many wings in the Republican Party. I'd seen a video at one point where they said there were 11 different kinds of Republicans. And we are in a big tent party now. And I think at this point, the only thing to do is gather on the tennis courts, so to speak. Maximilien Robespierre was a monster. He engineered the French Revolution. He died screaming. His smartest idea was when he was locked out of the palace, he met on the tennis courts. These are those tennis courts. This is the place where discourse happens. This is the polis. This is the great place of discussion. And it is our opportunity to have that discussion and to say that the people that represent us maybe don't represent us in earnest. The Israel issue, many other issues, these figures have misrepresented our ideas, cheered at things we would have stomached, and stomached things we would have cheered. We have come far from the source. Culture is upstream of politics, it is said. But what is the water that they both muddy? Is it not that Spangler is wrong, that the boundless and beautiful frontier that you see is not actually the spirit of the West, but it's those gems of sparkling water that we pass over? The living water that endlessly refreshes Western culture, and like a fish is wet and does not know it is in it, as other cultures eke into our nation, we see the difference. Multiculturalism allows us a mirror. I support multiculturalism. Pella, Iowa is a wonderful example, and multiculturalism is an excellent example of an idea that is not widely supported and lauded on the right-wing media. Multiculturalism allows cultural enclaves like Pella, Iowa, which is a Dutch community of pilgrims that came here in the 1860s and was founded by Dominic Schulte. They weathered over in mud huts with their Bibles, their tea set, and their families, and you can still see all that to this day in their town in Pella, Iowa. They have festivals every year where their children play in handmade costumes with tulips, wooden windmills. It's deeply American. The Netherlands, the culture has decayed. And so it can be said, my Dutch are better than your Dutch. Iowa used to have German newspapers, towns that spoke German. There is Italian heritage cultural centers, a Tidam village. We had Bosnians welcomed here in the 90s. A third of my class growing up was Bosnian, and they spoke Bosnian. They said, we're not white, we're Bosnian. And they were right, because that was their culture and their ethnicity and their people and their group. I'm not some kind of racialist. I don't really believe in race. I think that's a nasty idea like communism that does no good. So I'm not interested in the anti-black narrative that's the noticing that's happened on the right. Simon the Cyrene carries Jesus' cross. Ibn Malik pulls Jeremiah out of the well. I'm not interested in the anti-Israel because Ezekiel 34, 5, 6, and 7, Isaiah 49, 50, 51, Daniel 12, the Olivet Discourse, Romans 11, and the Haggai Gomer narrative all speak to the restoration of the nation of Israel, both northern and southern kingdoms, and the northern is of interest because it's never restored to the nations after its scattering. The exile in Babylon, it doesn't come back. It's not restored until 1948 in fulfillment of prophecy therein. And because our earnest position is the cornerstone that was rejected, the water that Christ gives is the water that replenishes the West, that gives us faith and hope. It's our earnest belief we profess. And why would we profess something we don't believe and expect anyone to believe it? Then there is a gap. There is a need for a reformed politic that professes a different raison d'etre than the one that is currently being espoused. And it's a matter of needing to bring God back into the culture, into every aspect of our lives, and to recognize that this is what we believe and not be ashamed